Have you ever wondered why, as you grow older, you feel less interested in social gatherings? Why does being around people suddenly feel so exhausting, even confusing? And here's something even more intriguing. What if this shift is not only normal, but actually a sign of deep psychological changes that are meant to protect you? In this video, we'll reveal 6 surprising psychological reasons why you naturally start pulling away from others as you age. These reasons might seem unexpected, but they're deeply rooted in how your mind and body evolve over time. And the best part? Once you understand them, you'll begin to see this shift not as a problem, but as a completely natural phase of life, one that brings peace and self-acceptance. Stick with us until the end, because what you'll learn here doesn't just explain your experiences. It could transform the way you view yourself and your relationships, making you feel more empowered and confident in your social world. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now's the perfect time. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss valuable videos that help you grow and feel supported. Let's dive right in. One major reason people tend to avoid social situations more as they grow older is simple. Energy conservation becomes a top priority. As we age, our bodies naturally don't recover as quickly as they once did. Socializing, while enjoyable, can take a surprising toll on both your mind and body. Have you ever noticed how, after a long conversation or attending a lively event, you feel completely drained? Physically, emotionally, and mentally? That's because interacting with others requires much more than just being present. It demands emotional investment, mental sharpness, and, at times, physical endurance. All these efforts draw from your limited energy reserves. In a way, your body is gently reminding you that it needs to recharge and protect itself. So instead of feeling guilty or confused about stepping back from certain social situations, recognize it as your body's natural way of prioritizing its well-being. And remember, your journey towards self-care and peace is something to embrace fully. Wishing you great health, happiness, and peace always. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more inspiring content. This gradual shift isn't about becoming antisocial or distant. Instead, it's a natural, biological, and psychological adjustment designed to protect your overall well-being. Psychologists refer to this as the energy preservation theory. It explains that as we age, our brain begins to prioritize activities that are truly meaningful and rewarding. In doing so, it naturally limits interactions that feel less essential. It's as if your mind and body work in harmony, quietly steering you toward what really matters, conserving energy for the moments that count most. Picture this. Evelyn, a 72-year-old woman who once eagerly attended every neighborhood party and community event. Over the years, she noticed a gradual change in herself. She started gravitating towards smaller, more intimate gatherings because large crowds left her feeling drained. It wasn't that she stopped enjoying the company of others, far from it. Instead, she became more thoughtful and selective about where she invested her energy and with whom she shared her time. Evelyn's story beautifully illustrates how energy conservation can reshape our social habits as we age. It's not unusual at all to pull back from constant socializing. In fact, it's a smart and self-respecting response to the body's changing needs. Recognizing this can help lift that weight of guilt or confusion when you find yourself turning down invitations. It's not a flaw, nor is it a sign of isolation or sadness. It's simply a sign that you're listening closely to your body, honoring its limits, and choosing to protect your health and peace of mind. In truth, by focusing on the quality of your connections rather than the number of them, you often create deeper, richer, and more meaningful relationships with those who truly matter to you. To sum it up, prioritizing energy conservation as you grow older is a fundamental psychological reason why you may start avoiding social activities more frequently. It's all about wisely managing your emotional and physical resources, ensuring that your health, happiness, and emotional stability stay intact. Once you embrace this mindset, you'll likely feel a sense of freedom, free from unnecessary guilt, and ready to focus on what truly nourishes your life. Another significant reason why many people tend to withdraw socially with age is that their social circles naturally become smaller. This isn't because they've lost interest in others. Rather, it's simply the result of life's ever-changing nature. Friends may move away, relationships may shift, and, sadly, some loved ones may pass away. As these changes unfold, the number of people available to interact with inevitably decreases. This naturally leads to fewer social opportunities and, over time, changes how often and with whom you spend your time. Take John, for example, a 75-year-old who once enjoyed a wide circle of friends from his workplace and neighborhood. Over the years, many of those friends either moved away to different states or sadly passed on. Gradually, the size of his social world began to shrink. John realized that instead of going to large social events or busy gatherings, he now preferred quiet afternoons spent with a few close family members or longtime friends. This change wasn't about becoming withdrawn. In fact, it made him feel more secure, more emotionally supported, and far less overwhelmed. Psychologists refer to this process as social pruning. It's a completely natural and adaptive way that people adjust to focus on what truly matters, investing their limited time and energy into the relationships that provide the deepest connection. As people go through this shift, they often discover that these fewer interactions are far more meaningful and fulfilling. Even though they might happen less often, the depth of those relationships tends to grow stronger. It's as if the brain itself starts favoring quality over quantity, which in turn brings greater emotional satisfaction. This narrowing of social circles also reflects a major psychological transformation. As people grow older, their goals shift dramatically. They start to seek emotional comfort and lasting connections instead of novelty or constant social stimulation. The desire for emotional closeness becomes much more powerful, making superficial or casual interactions far less appealing than before. This natural preference aligns with what psychologists call the socio-emotional selectivity theory. According to this theory, as we age, we naturally begin to prioritize meaningful experiences and relationships above all else. Knowing this can help explain why older adults may appear to avoid social situations. In reality, it's not about loneliness or depression. It's simply a healthy, normal response to the emotional needs of aging. When seniors recognize this shift for what it truly is, they often feel more at peace with their smaller social circles. They can learn to appreciate the value of the relationships they already have, without feeling pressured to maintain a large social network. However, it's also important to acknowledge that this natural shrinking of social ties can sometimes feel isolating, especially if it happens suddenly or without warning. That's why it's essential to find the right balance. Protecting your emotional well-being doesn't mean completely withdrawing from new connections. In fact, seeking out opportunities, whether through clubs, volunteer work, or activities that match your passions, can bring a refreshing sense of connection and support into your life, all without leaving you feeling overwhelmed. By accepting and embracing this natural process of social pruning, seniors can navigate their social lives with a much greater sense of peace and purpose. It opens up space for the kinds of relationships that truly nourish both the heart and mind, those connections that lift your spirits and support your mental and emotional well-being. Think about it, when you focus on the people who genuinely bring you joy, doesn't everything else start to feel lighter? That's the beauty of this shift. It's not about losing connections, it's about refining them, creating room for deeper, more meaningful bonds that truly matter. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights helpful, I'd love for you to comment number 2 below to let me know you're here and engaged. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now is the perfect moment. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any future videos designed to inform, inspire, and empower you. Your support truly helps us continue creating content that makes a difference. Let's keep going. Another key reason why people tend to avoid social interactions more as they age is increased sensitivity to social stress and conflict. As we grow older, many of us develop a heightened awareness of emotional discomfort and stressful situations. But this isn't simply about changes in personality. It's actually a psychological adaptation that develops after years of life experiences. Older adults often place a much higher value on peace, emotional security, and personal well-being. Because of this, they become far less willing to endure draining or negative social encounters. This growing sensitivity naturally leads to avoiding situations where conflict, harsh judgment, or uncomfortable feelings might arise. Why does this happen? Over time, most seniors have learned to recognize which relationships uplift them and which ones cause unnecessary stress. After decades of navigating life's highs and lows, they've become experts at identifying which connections are worth their time and energy. Interactions that involve tension, criticism, or misunderstandings simply lose their appeal. Instead of forcing themselves to endure uncomfortable conversations out of politeness or social obligation, many older adults now choose to step back. They focus on preserving their emotional well-being, even if it means declining certain invitations or keeping their distance from specific people. Take Barbara, for example, a 72-year-old woman who once loved engaging in lively debates at family gatherings. But as time went on, she began to notice that these spirited discussions often escalated into arguments or left someone feeling hurt. Now, Barbara prefers to either skip these gatherings or participate in a much lighter, more positive way, steering clear of any potential conflict. This change has brought her a deeper sense of calm and control over her emotional state, even if it means seeing certain relatives less often. Psychological research has shown that older adults tend to prioritize emotional regulation much more than younger people. It's partly because they've learned that protecting their peace is far more valuable than winning an argument or keeping up appearances. This shift also has roots in how the brain itself changes with age. The prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for managing emotions, begins to function differently as we grow older, allowing seniors to regulate negative feelings more effectively. But beyond brain chemistry, it also reflects a powerful, practical life lesson. After many decades of experiences, protecting one's inner peace becomes far more important than seeking approval or avoiding temporary discomfort. This growing sensitivity explains why some older adults may step away from social circles where conflict tends to arise, or where they often feel misunderstood. It's not a matter of disliking people. Rather, it's about intentionally choosing environments that support their emotional well-being. When negative interactions start piling up, it's as if the brain sends a clear signal. It's time to retreat, recharge, and protect yourself. Of course, others might misinterpret this behavior as aloofness or even rudeness, but in reality, it's a form of self-care, an intentional act of preserving emotional energy. Seniors understand that their emotional resources are limited and incredibly valuable. They know they can't afford to waste energy on situations that leave them feeling anxious, irritated, or even depressed. By avoiding overly stressful social environments, they can help prevent emotional burnout and maintain a steadier, more peaceful mindset. At the same time, learning to manage social stress in healthy, constructive ways, such as setting clear boundaries or using gentle, respectful communication, allows seniors to sustain meaningful relationships without sacrificing their peace of mind. Striking this delicate balance may take time, but it's essential for long-term happiness. When family members and friends recognize this natural increase in social sensitivity, they can respond with more empathy and understanding. They can help create safe, supportive environments where everyone feels heard and respected. This, in turn, reduces the need for withdrawal and strengthens the bond between loved ones. Ultimately, this psychological shift is a vital and beautiful part of growing older. It signals not only emotional maturity, but also deep self-respect. It allows seniors to focus more on joy, connection, and what truly matters, instead of unnecessary stress. By embracing this change, many older adults thrive emotionally, even as their social circles evolve and become smaller. Another key reason people tend to avoid certain social situations as they age is a shift in priorities toward deeper, more meaningful connections. As we grow older, our focus naturally moves away from maintaining a large circle of acquaintances. Instead, we begin to crave relationships that offer true emotional depth and support. This change often leads older adults to step back from casual or superficial social encounters. Gatherings that once may have felt fun and exciting, but now seem empty or draining. The desire to spend more time with people who genuinely understand, support, and uplift us becomes stronger, guiding many seniors towards smaller but far more fulfilling social circles. As this desire for deeper connections grows stronger, the effort required to maintain less meaningful relationships becomes far less appealing. Many older adults begin to realize that focusing on quality over quantity is not only more satisfying, but also a sign of emotional and psychological maturity. After all, life experience has a way of teaching us just how valuable authentic connections really are. With this wisdom, seniors naturally become more intentional about how and where they invest their social energy. They begin to carefully choose the people they spend time with, ensuring those interactions bring comfort, support, and genuine connection. This often results in fewer social gatherings, but the ones that remain are far more meaningful on both emotional and spiritual levels. Think of James, a 78-year-old retiree who once eagerly attended multiple social events every week. Over time, however, he began to notice that these gatherings left him feeling more drained than fulfilled. Eventually, James shifted his focus. He now prefers quiet afternoons spent with a small circle of close friends who truly share his values and interests. This intentional change has not only boosted his overall happiness, but also strengthened his sense of belonging and emotional security. Psychological studies strongly support this pattern. Research shows that older adults often derive the greatest satisfaction from emotionally close, supportive relationships. This behavior is closely tied to the socio-emotional selectivity theory, which suggests that as people become more aware of the limited nature of time, they naturally begin to prioritize interactions that are deeply rewarding. In turn, they slowly distance themselves from those that feel superficial or unfulfilling. This intentional focus on meaningful connections also explains why many seniors may withdraw from large community events or expansive social networks that once played a central role in their lives. It's not a matter of disliking others. Rather, it's about making thoughtful choices to cultivate a social circle that nurtures emotional well-being. Family members and friends can play an important role here by respecting this natural shift in priorities. Instead of encouraging broad social involvement, they can offer support by fostering opportunities for seniors to spend quality time with close loved ones. This understanding approach honors the importance of meaningful relationships and allows seniors to thrive emotionally. Moreover, this shift toward deeper connections is closely linked to better mental and emotional health. Research shows that strong, supportive relationships are associated with lower risks of depression, anxiety, and even cognitive decline. In this way, seniors' preference for emotionally enriching connections isn't just a personal choice, it's also a powerful way to protect their overall well-being as they age. At the same time, it's important to understand that this doesn't mean seniors are closing themselves off from the world. Many remain open to forming new friendships. However, they've simply become more thoughtful and discerning about where they invest their time and emotional energy. This careful approach reflects both their wisdom and their deep desire for connections that truly matter. This natural shift is truly a reflection of wisdom and self-awareness. As seniors begin to prioritize deeper, more meaningful connections, they often find their overall life satisfaction improving. It's a clear sign of emotional maturity and a deeper understanding of what truly matters most in life. By focusing on relationships that offer genuine support, kindness, and love, older adults create a social environment that is both nurturing and fulfilling. This intentional approach helps cultivate a circle of trusted individuals who uplift them, making daily life feel richer and more rewarding. Recognizing this shift allows all of us, whether friends, family members, or caregivers, to better appreciate the evolving social needs of our aging loved ones. It reminds us to respect and honor their desire for authentic, emotionally fulfilling connections, rather than encouraging social obligations that no longer bring them joy. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please take a moment to comment number 4 below to let me know you're here and engaged. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now is the perfect time. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you'll never miss out on inspiring and informative videos that support your personal growth. Your support truly makes a difference and allows us to continue creating meaningful content for you. Now, let's keep going. Another powerful reason why many seniors begin to withdraw from certain social situations is the natural increase in self-awareness that comes with age. With the passing years, older adults often gain a clearer, more honest understanding of their emotional needs and social boundaries. They begin to recognize what truly nourishes their well-being, and just as importantly, what drains their energy. Unlike in their younger years, when socializing might have been motivated by habit, obligation, or even the pressure to fit in, seniors tend to approach their relationships with greater intention. They become far more deliberate about the people they choose to engage with, prioritizing interactions that feel sincere, comforting, and enriching. This heightened self-awareness naturally leads to a more selective approach to socializing. It's not about cutting people off without reason. It's a mindful, thoughtful form of emotional self-care. By setting healthy boundaries and focusing on relationships that align with their current needs and values, older adults protect their emotional energy and create more space for peace and contentment. Have you ever noticed how refreshing it feels to be around people who simply get you? That's exactly the kind of connection seniors begin to seek, leaving behind relationships that no longer serve their emotional health or happiness. This thoughtful approach to socializing also serves as a form of comfort. Seniors are protecting themselves from unnecessary stress, anxiety, and emotional exhaustion. It's a healthy and adaptive way to maintain mental well-being and overall happiness as they navigate this stage of life. Take Helen, for example, a 72-year-old woman who began to notice that certain acquaintances consistently brought negativity or unnecessary drama into her world. Over time, Helen chose to distance herself from these relationships, doing so in a gentle and respectful manner. Instead of spending her time and energy on draining interactions, she shifted her focus toward family and friends who truly uplifted her. This deliberate choice brought her a greater sense of peace and fulfillment, making her daily life feel lighter and more joyful. Psychologists have long observed that this type of behavior is closely connected to improved emotional regulation that tends to come with age. Many older adults develop stronger coping mechanisms and gain a deeper understanding of the importance of emotional balance. As a result, they naturally avoid conflicts or situations that could lead to emotional strain. It's important to note that this doesn't mean seniors are becoming antisocial or unwilling to engage with others. Rather, they are intentionally refining their social circles to include people who genuinely align with their current stage of life, those who offer shared values, mutual respect, and emotional support. This conscious narrowing of social connections helps foster an environment filled with understanding, compassion, and authentic joy. By selectively choosing whom they spend time with, seniors often create deeper, more meaningful bonds with a smaller group of trusted individuals. This shift from the quantity of social interactions to the quality of relationships leads to richer, more satisfying social experiences. It encourages seniors to focus on emotional closeness, nurturing a strong sense of belonging and connection. Family members and friends play a key role here. Recognizing and respecting this evolved social wisdom allows seniors to feel supported and empowered. When loved ones honor their boundaries and accept their choices to limit certain interactions, it reinforces their autonomy and emotional well-being. Ultimately, embracing this kind of selective socializing doesn't just protect seniors' mental health, it also enhances their overall life satisfaction. It reflects a deep, self-respecting approach to relationships, shaped by decades of life experience. Understanding this natural tendency helps us appreciate why some seniors may withdraw from large gatherings or distance themselves from old acquaintances. It's not a rejection of others, it's a sign of growth, resilience, and a deep desire for peace in this meaningful chapter of life. Encouraging seniors to nurture positive, supportive relationships while respecting their personal boundaries creates an environment where they can flourish, emotionally, mentally, and socially. This growing self-awareness and thoughtful social selectivity ultimately lead to a more balanced, fulfilling, and harmonious social life, one that honors their needs, values, and the wisdom they've earned over the years. What about you? What resonated with you most from today's video? Do you recognize any of these psychological patterns in yourself, or perhaps in the seniors around you? Taking a moment to reflect on these insights can open the door to a deeper understanding of the natural, healthy shifts in social habits that often accompany aging. Remember, withdrawing from social situations more often as we grow older isn't a sign of weakness or personal failure. In fact, it's a completely natural and even healthy part of emotional growth and self-care. Understanding these reasons allows us to approach ourselves and our loved ones with greater compassion, patience, and respect. If you've noticed yourself pulling back from social gatherings, it may simply be your mind and heart working together to prioritize your well-being. It's your inner wisdom guiding you to protect your emotional energy. Similarly, if you see an older family member or friend becoming more reserved, it may be their thoughtful way of managing their emotional health and preserving their energy. This kind of awareness can help us support seniors in ways that honor their boundaries while still encouraging meaningful, heartfelt connections. After all, sometimes less truly is more. Choosing depth over quantity in relationships often leads to richer, more satisfying connections, ones that bring peace, comfort, and lasting joy. Your social needs may naturally shift with time, but your ability to build and maintain deep, rewarding relationships remains as strong as ever. The key lies in embracing change with openness and kindness. Thank you for spending time with us today. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Please leave a comment below and share one thing you've learned from this video and how you plan to apply it to your own life. Your reflections are always welcomed, and reading your comments inspires and motivates us to continue creating meaningful content. If you found this video helpful, please take a moment to like, subscribe, and share it with others. Your support helps us continue producing valuable videos designed to inform, inspire, and uplift. Wishing you great health, happiness, and peace always, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more insightful content.